The story of the International Council of Christians and Jews, authored by ICCJ consultant Ruth Weil, relays the narrative of more than 60 years of Jewish-Christian dialogue. Ruth Weil was born in 1924 in Berlin into the well-established German Jewish Grünfeld family with a liberal Jewish background. The family combined a strong Jewish identity with what in pre-Nazi Germany was termed German culture. After the family came under serious attack from the anti-Semitic paper Der Stürmer, they fled Germany to what was then Palestine. Ruth lived in Jerusalem under the British Mandate, throughout the siege of Jerusalem and in the early years after the establishment of the State of Israel. During this time she was a close neighbor to Martin Buber. In 1958 she moved to England, where she became assistant to the late Reverend Bill Simpson, General Secretary of the International Council of Christians and Jews. Ruth still serves the organization as a consultant today. To introduce the story of the ICCJ, Ruth Weil was interviewed by Rebecca Bruckner, Vice Chair of ICCJ's Young Leadership Council.
Ruth, you are such a vibrant character in the interfaith world. What made you get involved in the first place, and what kept you motivated over the years?
14-year-old, I was lucky enough to be able to get a visa for what was then British mandated to Palestine. And my life in that country, and later as a married woman in Jerusalem, have always brought me in very close contact with other people living in the country, be they Christian Arabs, or Muslims. I grew up learning at home that in order to be a good German, you have first and foremost to be a good Jew. And in a way, the way we develop in the interfaith dialogue appeals very, very much to my living Judaism, meaning living with people and among people, secure of who and what I am and what my basis is, which I think is absolutely basic to dialogue, and yet open to the world around.
What do you see as challenges in the future and ways to overcome them?
Originally, this whole dialogue, Jewish-Christian dialogue, was based on the experiences of the post-Holocaust world and the realization of the underlying causes of anti-Semitism. I believe today, at least within our Christian-Jewish encounter, we have overcome most of these particular worries and challenges. There still existing regions and countries who have no experience. They may have tribal difficulties among themselves, that is one issue, but on the other hand, these are very often countries and regions where there are no Jews at all, or only very few, and if they are, they don't have sufficient contact with the world in which they live and the people with whom they live.
So, Ruth, do you have a message for the next generation of interfaith that we should keep in mind?
I don't think I have a message, because I think every generation develops its own impetus and has its own needs, develops its own. The only message I have to the world at large is that I would love to see what's happening in the next few decades.